Well, good morning. We're in Tiki tunnel number 1 and it's a midden, so it's time to get some clearing out and tidying up done. Look at the state of it in here, my word. Nettle City and I'm the mayor. Horses' tails, stinging nettles in the majority. All of this is going to come, well, it's all gone to seed. It's going to settle into these beds now. It's going to be a bit of a problem next year. And it's all due to neglect, boys and girls. But what can you do when your clogs let water in? It's either fresh clogs or you fix it. Well, I'm going to fix it. Let's crack on. I've just found an amphibian. I'm not too clever about frogs and toads, but you'll know, won't you? Have a look. There he is. Or she. He or she. I think it's a toad, I'm not sure though. He was in the undergrowth over there. Or she. Don't worry, I'll let you go in a sec. I'll put you in mixed pond next door. In fact, that's what we'll do. There it is inside there. Let's tip him out. Alright mate, crack on. There's the pond, mixed pond. Plenty of places for them to hide under the rocks and what have you. Or knocking around under the beds and maybe even under the shed. So it should be alright. See you later mate. Yeah, frogs and toads are good to find. Beneficial really in the garden. They'll creep around eating slugs and whatnot. So that's no bad thing. What is a bad thing is this though, another find, not so good. So what we've got here are a couple of clutches of slug or snail eggs, mollusks. Now they'll obviously sprout into little baby slugs and snails and devour our plants, so we don't want them. So I'm going to shift them. I'm going to get some gloves on first, obviously, because they're jelly-like eggs, slimy, like the slugs themselves. But yeah, they're going to be shifted on. When you're doing clear outs like this, you find stuff like that, and it's best to move it. So we will be doing. Hello. Just done an hour's worth. And I thought I'd just talk to you about the weeds that we've got down here. The three main ones that we've got on this side that are really a pain in the backside are stinging nettles, like those. Bindweed, which looks like this. That's just a baby one, but it's come up from underneath and it's coming up through. And lastly, but not least by any means, is horse's tail. It's an absolute pig. There you hope you can see that. It's the fern-like plant that especially likes growing up between the cracks in the paving. I've pulled up the majority. It was up here. It was about 2 feet high. But I pulled it out and we're left with this. Now somebody's told me, and I believe it's not just them that told me, there's about 10 people that said when we were doing the salt, we were spreading the salt for weed suppressant. But they've told me to use on horse's tail vinegar, and that's distilled white vinegar by Robert Shaw. Robert Shaw's distilled white vinegar. Not only was he good at hunting sharks, he could make some vinegar as well. So we're going to apply that to the cracks and see if it suppresses the horse's tail. As I say, I've been pulling it up, the horse's tails. There's horse's tails and mare's tail. They're similar plants, but not quite the same. I believe mare's tail is the one that flowers. It can flower, grows a bit bigger than the horse's tail, and flowers. But I might be wrong. Anyway, we're going to apply vinegar to it, so let's crack on with that. Now, I was going to put the vinegar into this little watering can with its little spout, but it's already got its own applicator there, so let's have a go. It's got a little hole in the top, and I'm just going to run it down in the cracks. I'm not sure whether you're supposed to apply it folially as a foliar application, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that all the way along the edges and where the cracks are. So I'm going to be putting plenty in here and just seeing what happens. It is supposed to work. There's been several people mentioned about it. That and using WD-40. But I know the WD-40s are definitely a foliar application. But I can't see that vinegar doing it any good. We'll see. All right. Now there's still some bits to do, but it's much better than it was. The weeds were all around. There's still some underneath there, but I couldn't get under me. I've got a sore shoulder, so I couldn't get under today to do the back. But the majority's done. I've done the vinegar between the cracks in the pavers. I've topped off the beds. Not done that one, but I've done these two. I had some compost underneath there, which I've done. I've used as a top up for that. I've also collected all of the little pots, seed trays, etc., and stacked them over here. Got the buckets out of the way, got them up on there. Canes, took all the canes out, put the canes on the top of there. Seed trays again. So we're getting there. It's getting something like, it's a lot better than it was. It's been neglected, obviously, hasn't it? Neglected by me, lazy get. I can't find my big brush either. My big brush would have been handy for doing the sweeping. I've had to use that. But yeah, it's a bit more neat and tidy, isn't it? In fact, it's a lot more neat and tidy. Only trouble is, it's took about 2.5 hours altogether to get it to that, with all the weeding and the, all the rest of it, tidying, straightening. I've shut those on the outside as well, where I can. I'm going to have to take those clasps off on a couple of them, so it will shut and clasp too. That side's been alright. That side was all right. They've all shut. They're all shut on the outside, them ones. I'll show you in a second, but these ones on that side for some reason aren't shutting, so I'm going to have to take them off, lower them down a little bit, so that they will close and clasp on. Like those ones. They're all clasped on from the outside. It's just a simple lever clasp that keeps them windows shut, and to keep a lot of the cold and wind out. Although I'm not growing anything at the moment, I've made a complete hash of it this year, to be honest with you. The timing's been all wrong. Them tomatoes I just took out of there, and they're the sun gold ones. I've kept all my labels here for next year. I can use them labels again. Use acetone to get rid of them. Nail polish remover, that gets rid of it. Gets them back to white. You only need a little tiny drop. It'll take it all off. They're all right. They're for the potatoes next year. For chitting the potatoes. So yeah, everything's more or less stored away and squared away and good to go, like, but just close that off. They're all in there, out the way, tucked away. Got that little fire there. I'm gonna have to get a couple of canisters for it, a couple of gas canisters for it. Although I think it's butane. Butane doesn't seem to burn as good in the cold. Right. Cabbages. Which shall we have? I'm going to go for that one. Why not? That'll do. Give it a good wash and a soak in some salty water, and Bob's your uncle. Or at least your auntie's living lover. That's me done. For today anyway, dinner time. Can't get down in the week, that's the trouble. So I'm only sort of getting a couple of hours in every weekend, which isn't good really. I need to get more time sorted out. But in these trying times, it's difficult. A lot of work on at work. Full-time work, obviously. which I do enjoy, but it takes you away from the plots. That's why you've not seen me too much over the last few weeks. The last 6 weeks, really. I've only probably put about 3 or 4 videos up, and that's not like me, is it? What I'm going to be taking is oh God, nearly dropped you then. Some kale. I'll take some more kale today, and a couple of cabbages. Got some cabbages left in, so that's what I'm going to be taking, food-wise. But yeah, next weekend's going to be a proper good clear out. They've got the allotment inspections, I believe. Might be next week, might be next Sunday, not sure. Anyway, I'm doing my best, Joseph. I'm going to clear as much as I can. Got some cardboard down there. In fact, before I go, I better store that away for next time, because these the cardboard's going to be going on the beds, like I've done here. Put some cardboard on the beds on these. Never stops, even in winter. You've got to keep growing with your head down, haven't you, boys and girls? Right, take care of each other and yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Remember, we love you all. I've been good and offended. You've been fantastic, beautiful and fragrant if you're a lady. You've been forthright, masculine and virile if you're a gentleman. And if you've been something in between, you've been something in between. Take care of yourselves. All right. See you after, boys and girls. Have a good week.